Hello, good afternoon. This is Ali Hollands. I'm talking to my lovely friend, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello, of Inspired Change. Rebecca is a fabulous hypnotherapist based, well, she's going to tell you where she's based because that'll go much better than me saying it. And Rebecca's she started studying, we couldn't believe it was only, she started learning hypnotherapy 18 months ago and she's already up in practice and doing it beautifully. So, Rebecca, I'm going to let you kind of give you a quick intro, who you are, where you are, and if there's anyone, because I don't know if there's anyone that you work with specially yet, or you're still kind of enjoying seeing lots of people at the moment, lots of different types. So how is it for you?
Okay, thank you for the warm welcome, Ali. So I'm in a little market town called Thetford, which is on the Norfolk-Suffolk border. So if you can imagine on a map, I'm kind of in the middle of Cambridge, Norwich and Ipswich. So a really nice part of the world, and it means that people are happy to travel in to see me. So although my clinic's in Thetford, I kind of work on a radius of about 10 to 20 miles out.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, I can't believe I've been doing this for 18 months. It's gone so quickly. And of course, we start seeing clients from the end of weekend one. So I've been with clients all of this time. And I think you're right, in terms of the types of people I work with. At the moment, I'm not specialising in any particular area. I'm kind of happy to broaden my horizons and get all the experience and help whoever needs the support.
Fab. So how did you come to study with CPHT?
Okay, so for me, it was actually about seeking out my own therapy that led me to CPHT. So what happened was, before hypnotherapy came into my world, I spent the last 20 years in senior human resources roles. And I had a great job, I was travelling the world, I was having a great time working in the music industry. But of course, that was the professional mask saying all of that. And actually on the inside, I was just falling apart. It was just, there was one life event after another, and I just kept getting kicked down and kicked down. And I walked into my GP surgery one day, absolutely broken and on the floor. And I said, I need some help. And the GP was fantastic. And he said, I can give you antidepressants. I can give you a sick note for a mental breakdown. I can refer you to NHS counselling type programs. But he said, I can see in you that you're a very inquisitive mind. And he's a family doctor who'd known me years.
Yeah.
And he knew that I was the kind of person that if you say, let's say I get a diagnosis, I'm straight onto Google, then I'm straight onto buying a book about it, then I'm straight onto TED Talks and YouTube clips about it. And so he realised that I needed something very practical and pragmatic. And that's what led me to hypnotherapy. And a friend had happened to click like on a Facebook video. So that meant that the Facebook video appeared on my newsfeed, explaining how the brain worked. And it was just ding, 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 light bulb moment. And all of a sudden I realised that there was a way out of this black pit of depression that I'd found myself in.
Wow.
And so I went along and I Googled and I researched, and then I went along to a CPHT open evening and sat down with one of the lecturers and just assumed that it would just be something that I'd like to learn, get another certificate for the wall and carry on with my HR career. But then CPHT kind of grew from there, and weekend one was just life-changing. And then realised that actually I wanted to do this for other people. It wasn't just about getting me better. It was about actually realising that I could make a profession out of this and make other people better. And I've not worked in human resources since. How scary is that? After 20 years and one weekend at CPHT, I knew this was my path. This is who I'm supposed to be.
Wow. I think that's amazing. I didn't know that it was never going to be from our conversation, I didn't know it was, you definitely hadn't intended it to be your career. It
was another way forward through my depression, my anxiety. the sick note said mental breakdown. You know, I didn't want to just put a plaster over the wound. I wanted to fix the wound underneath it, you know. And so for me, with that sort of scientific sort of mindset, I needed to understand what was going on in my brain. And boy, oh boy, did CPHT give me that.
What was kind of like the real kind of, after the fact that kind of weekend one blew your mind, kind of going through it, there's a lot of different things that happen. So as we said, you literally only started training 18 months ago, and it's a 10-month course. So you're coming up to your kind of your anniversary of working in clinic now. So when you were training, were there any kind of moments where you thought, oh, I'm not sure about this? What kind of happened then? How did you get through?
I guess there was that feeling of a lack of confidence, like we all have. I mean, I was massively out of my comfort zone. If you think, I'd only ever done HR, and I'd done it for 20 years. And so it's all I ever knew, and I could do it in my sleep. And whilst a redundancy might upset you doing it for the first time, 20 years in, it was just like, oh yeah, whatever, redundancy. And I'd lost the emotional connection. You're fired, get out. I'd lost the emotional connection. And so actually, by completely doing something, by doing something completely different, was massively out of my comfort zone. And all of a sudden I realised how much I was helping these people. And these people being clients literally from weekend one onwards. You know, we're encouraged, I think it's at the end of weekend one, and if it's not, it's the beginning of weekend two, to actually go out and get case studies and offer our services for free. And for me, that was it was the lack of confidence there, as in, oh my God, I can't tell people I'm doing this. And the lack of confidence of, how am I going to do this? I'm new at this. I don't know what I'm doing yet. So then coming through that and going, flipping heck, I've really made a difference to this person.
So how did you kind of get through that first bit where you're like, I don't know how I'm going to persuade people to let me do this work?
I guess it's the value of what we call the tribe around us. We had brilliant lecturers. We had a great cohort where we knew from weekend one, we knew we were sat with friends for life. And so we were all in it together. And it was that real tribe mentality of, well, if she can do it, then I can do it. And all right, if we're not feeling it, then let's just rally the troops and motivate each other, you know. There's that. And then the second part of it is the word free. You're offering relaxation. You're offering goal setting and clarity of mind and lifting a fog, emptying the stress bucket, as we call it on the course. What's not to love? People.
I know, right? It's just
it's amazing. And I thought, I won't ask friends and family, although that's the easy option. For me, there was a little bit of pride, a little bit of, oh, I can't tell people I'm doing this, because I was off sick, of course. For those first few months of studying, I was still getting through my mental breakdown.
So
I didn't really want to advertise the fact that I was learning something new. So I ended up putting a post, although it's public, I put it on a local forum that we've got in our town, where I explained I was a student. I was explaining that I was looking for case studies and I was happy to help people for free. And I had 68 Facebook messages within 10 minutes.
Oh my God. That's amazing, isn't it?
And of course, they've then gone on, recommended me to other people. Some of them are still clients. Some of them, their friends and family are still clients. That's 18 months later. So actually, by one Facebook post to a group of strangers on the internet, opened up my whole database of potential clients for the future.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, and it's one of the things that, you know, we've just had weekend one in Kent.
Okay.
How do I get clients? And when it is that bit, it's like, trust me.
Trust me.
Will be no
Trust
issue.
Process.
Yes.
The great thing about CPHT, because of course, being that geek, I'd done my research into who CPHT were and who the competitors were, who the other schools were. And actually what stood out about CPHT is that the market leader, the gold standard, you know, David Newton being the founder, and actually then just trusting that process. This is the same process for you as it is for me, as it is for anyone about to start the course.
Yeah.
Trust it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, with you, I can see the similarities between kind of the training process that we go through and the way that we work with our clients. I mean, I see it more now that I'm lecturing it, you know, and I'm like, you know, when I was training as a lecturer, it's like, well, why aren't we teaching them that then? It's like, because it will, you know, because it doesn't work. You've got to trust the process. I'm like, okay, fine, you know, I've got my lesson. So it is that whole thing. It's just like it carries on all the way through, and we almost like, we're trained through it to be good at process, so that when we're therapists, we're good at process and we help our clients be good at process. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's about discipline as well. And when my lecturer said that word in, I think, weekend one, discipline, well, that sounds a bit strict, a bit rigid, but actually it's discipline in a really positive way, because as we've all learned, the brain likes repetition. My clients like it that they sit in the same seat every week and they do the same thing. We have the same process for our hour session together. We go through the same journey every week. The routine is the same, and that in itself is discipline, and it's helping the client discipline themselves, and get better and move forward, you know. Helps everybody, not just the students, but everyone benefits from it.
Absolutely, yeah, couldn't agree with you more. So going into practice, what was it like when you saw your first paying clients?
Wow, okay. And that, of course, that was on, remind me, month probably 5 or 6, is it? 7 or 8?
7 or 8. A little,
towards the end, isn't it, where we were able to start charging clients a nominal fee. That was a real game changer, because by then my confidence had been able to build up, because I'd been able to get a case study in all the main areas that we focus on. So I've got anxiety, I've got PTSD, I've got weight management, I've got pain. I kind of found people in all those categories, so my confidence was at a comfortable level. And all of a sudden they hand money over. Wow. And actually that took me a little while to get used to. And I thought that when I stopped offering free sessions, I thought the phone might stop ringing, and actually it didn't, because people were seeing the benefit and recommending me. And in the town that I live in, it's one of those East Anglian towns where we all know everyone. The word of mouth has been fantastic, and you know, it's kept busy ever since.
Amazing, cool. And what's it like now, being in all this time on? How are you enjoying being in practice? What's kind of your week look like in practice now?
So I choose, because of how my health suffered during my mental breakdown. I was obviously very, very poorly, and had a lot of health issues around the time. So I made a commitment to myself that no matter what my future career looked like, it was never going to be a full-time one. So I might be different from other people, but how I map out my week is I only work 2 days a week. I tend to do a Tuesday and a Thursday, just because it puts days in between. That's all. That's just a personal preference. And, you know, without meaning to be arrogant, in those 2 days a week, I'm able to earn a week's wage. That's the wonderful thing about this. You know, it's part-time hours for a full-time income. So I kind of have 2 whole days of seeing clients. But of course I'm always marketing my business. I've always got business cards in my handbag. When I go to the local coffee shop, I'll just put one of my flyers on the notice board. And of course we're on Facebook all day long, aren't we, in our world? So I'm always marketing here, there and everywhere. But I've got this great work-life balance now, which even as the HR director of my old life, I was never able to have. Even though I was the one in HR recommending it to other people,
Yeah.
I just couldn't listen to my own advice. Whereas today I can hand on heart say I live my life the way I suggest to my clients that they should, having all the positive stuff in our lives and having that balance. It's the best thing I ever did was walk into CPHT.
Yeah. Do you think it's important that we're an example to our clients?
Yeah, I think it is. I think that doesn't necessarily mean we have to be perfect. It's just saying, look, we talk about the value of the tribe. We talk about the importance of having the right interaction with people. And we were just saying before we started this conversation, we caught up, I caught up with a mutual friend of ours on Saturday and took him out to lunch. And it was just really nice to kind of reconnect. And then you realise you're doing exactly what you're telling your clients to do, and I think it is important, but it also, again, it's about trusting the process.
Yeah.
It's about being the best version of yourself. And, it's not that difficult. Positive action, just getting out and, in the fresh air and just going for a walk and then realising you get paid to tell other people to do that.
I know, it's crazy, hey? So that's kind of where you are now. What's the future for you?
I cannot imagine not doing this. So I'm now realising, how can I put it? The turning point for me recently has been that I don't just realise I'm helping the person in my office sat across me. I'm helping their next of kin, I'm helping their siblings, I'm helping their parents, I'm helping their children.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful turning point for me. So I think the future will always have the one-to-one hypnotherapy in it. But I think it also, my future as a clinical hypnotherapist also needs to get out and tell the world about this.
Yeah.
Because what we learn at CPHT is an absolute mental health game changer. So for me, it's about educating people in that, and that antidepressants are great and NHS wellbeing courses are great, but there are other options out there. So for me, it's about building a future that spreads the word around this town about how to get better and mentally healthy.
Fabulous. And because this is, we said we were going to ask this question, but it's a really good one, because it's pertinent to the people that this is going to be seen by, is what would you say to your self who hadn't quite joined CPHT or who was just at the beginning of the journey? What do they need to hear? What does that version of you, that old version, need to hear?
You can do this. You might have the craziest lifestyle. You might have the international job that I had. You might have a family to run and a home to run. You might have a business to run. You might have the busiest lifestyle. You can do this. You can study and have that lifestyle. You might be somebody who doesn't work. You might be somebody who, we had a lot of mums who hadn't worked for a good few years on our course. You can do this. It doesn't matter what stage of life you're coming into CPHT with. It doesn't matter what level of experience you've got. It doesn't matter what qualifications you've got. You can do this. It fits in beautifully with every aspect of life. Just do it. Just go to an open day near you and just do it.
And do you think younger Rebecca would have listened to that?
Maybe I had to go through some hiccups. Maybe I had to go through the bad stuff, the difficult life events. Maybe you have to go through to a certain bottom to be able to get out. I don't know. But for me, all I do know is that CPHT came along at the right time, in the right place in my life, and it's been a huge game changer for me. This whole qualification, this whole course, and what it's led on to has just been a huge game changer. So it was perfect for me at that time and remains to be so.
Fabulous. Well, I mean, I could carry on. I've got like 17 more questions in my head here, but we do have to wrap up for today. So, Rebecca, thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
It's really fabulous to talk. It's always fabulous to talk to you, but it's been really good fun to find out a little bit more about kind of your training and work journey and kind of how it's all kind of going forward and what the exciting future holds for you. And I can't wait to see all of that. And yeah, so we'll have a link to Rebecca in here. If you want to find out a little bit more about either Rebecca or training or what it's like to be a hypnotherapist, you can get in touch with us. There's, you know, all over the place, 1,000 beautiful ways. And you can talk to us directly, so you can speak to one of the senior lecturers and find out what it might be like for you to train with CPHT, if that's something you're interested in, or indeed what it might be like if you wanted to get some help for your own mental or physical health. So that's it for today. It's been lovely to talk to you, Rebecca. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
When I work out the technology. Yes. So that's wonderful. So thanks very much. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.